Hey everyone, this is Deb with Four Seasons Crafts. Welcome, welcome. I am going to refresh my page here and then we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to show you guys some fun Christmas cards that are going to be super simple, but I think they look absolutely elegant. So let me show you what we're going to use. We're going to use this Lights Aglow. I'm going to make sure I'm on the camera there. We're going to use the Lights Aglow suite, and this was the November Card Club. So if you purchased the November Card Club, and Card Club is where you're going to get supplies to make 8 cards. It's 4 designs, 2 each, plus a 3D project. So that's what we used. And how it works is you pay $30 a month by the 10th of the month, and then you will make you'll get $20 worth of product, and then you get those supplies to make the 8 cards, 4 designs, 2 of each, and then a 3D project. And I wanted to show you this this project. Actually, the video is going to be posted on my blog and on my YouTube channel tomorrow. I'm going to finish uploading it tonight. But it has this cool little kind of little clip that you kind of put right in there. And then when you open it up, it has, has a little pocket. And then it also has a list of that you can keep your menu for your Thanksgiving party, for Christmas lists, whatever you might have, shopping lists. But it is a really cool little book. So that was the 3D project that was included as well. So we're going to go ahead and make the cards. So let me show them to you, and then we are going to get started. So we're just going to start with the simplest one first, and they're all pretty simple. But this is the one we're going to do right now. So you can see it has a little bit of texture. They're all going to use a very vanilla. So let's go ahead and pull in. We are going to be using the Christmas lights, and we're going to use this tree stamp. So we're going to go ahead and get that one out. And we are going to need all the supplies we need are a piece of the thick, very vanilla cardstock. And then we're going to need a layer of very vanilla cardstock. And then we're going to need our stamp set and some evening evergreen. So we are going to use Joy, which also comes out of the suite, and it's part of the Brightest Glow. And these are just some phenomenal sayings. I really, really like them. That one is just gorgeous. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of cardstock and we are going to put on some lines. If you guys can see, we kind of made some indentations there, and all we used, you can use your trimmer and use the scoring blade. And in our case, we are actually going to use our scoreboard. And I just find it's just a little bit easier here. So we're going to go ahead and let me move this out of the way. And let me see if I can, I can't remember if I can zoom in here or not. I don't, looks like I can a little bit, but that's all right. I will be sure to have the measurements. And if you are part of the card club, you will have gotten the PDF with everything in it as well. So we're going to start at 1 1/8, and we literally are just going to go straight down and make the next 4. So we're going to do 4 lines, and we're just doing one right after the other. And that is all there is to it. And if I told you guys, these are simple cards because you want something, right, that you can easily, that is easily duplicatable. Now, this is, you can take the side that's indented or you can take the side that is raised. And I think, let me make sure, I think I had one more. So we're going to do just one more score line there. There we go. All right, we're done with this. So we'll put that back. And we are going to go ahead. Now we're ready to stamp. So first thing, we'll go ahead and stamp Joy. So we're going to turn our card this way. And we're going to use, again, Evening Evergreen here. And we're just going to tap right in there and just make sure that we have a good set of ink. And then line up our greeting. And there you go. So that is the first part. Now let's clean this off here. Okay. All right, now the next one we're going to do, we have to stamp our tree. Now I will tell you, I am going to bring in the Stamparatus here because, and so if you guys have not seen this, right, it has these plates and I'm just going to line up my piece of cardstock and let me grab the magnets on the back here, at least one of them. And we're just going to go ahead and lay this to keep our card secure, okay? Because we don't want it moving all around. Now what we're going to do is we're going to place our tree where we want it on our card. Now this particular card, I do have it going off the edge just a tad. So it's up to you. I can move it. I might move this one a little closer. If you noticed on here, I had it going off the edge just a bit. So this one, we'll see if we can maybe put the whole tree on there without interrupting or getting close to our lines. All right, there we go. So now all I do, I have my stamp set where I want it. I'm just going to bring this down, press, and now I have my stamp set. And now I'm just going to go ahead and take my ink pad and just tap it across to get a good firm, a good coverage, I should say. There we go. And now I'm just going to bring this down. Let me move that a little closer in. Sorry, got off camera there. And we'll just push it down, bring this up. And you can see I didn't quite get all of it there. So I'm going to bring it back down, push down a little bit more, and voila. That is the nice thing about using the Stamparatus, guys, is if you miss something, you can just go back and put it down and then just make sure that you got good coverage where you want it. So I like it. So now I'm going to go ahead and take this off. And we'll close up our ink for now. And to clean this stamp, I'm just going to take my sham here and just rub that right off there. Sure. There we go. Okay. So I was seeing if I could change that at all. Now we'll just leave that since we are done at this point with our Stamparatus. We'll move that over here. So now we just have to really assemble our card, and we just have this particular one glued down. So the first thing we need to do is we're going to take our piece of ribbon and we're just going to wrap it around here. And oops, let me get in camera here. So I'm just going to wrap my piece of ribbon around, and then I'm going to bring it so it's up like this, if you guys can see that. Then I'm going to kind of, and you want it to maybe bend just a little bit, because then when I actually tie the second part of my knot here, So again, I want to make sure that first one's pretty taut. And then when I do my second one, I'm going to take it kind of at an angle there. And I get a nice knot. You can see this one, I kind of made it a little bit looser than a little more loose than I wanted. So let's just try this one more time. So again, I'm going to bend it up, get our finger right there, leave it there. And then we're just going to pull that through. Again, this isn't normally this hard. I'm going to leave it, my finger there. And then I still think I've got a little bit of a, oh, there we go. That one's good. So again, just hold it down and then you can make it a little taut. So now we're just going to take our snips and cut off some of our ribbon there. Oops. And now we're going to just adhere this to our card base. And you guys can do one of two things. You can either pop it up on dimensionals or you can just leave it like it is. So we're just going to go ahead and put some glue on here. And again, these cards are meant to be pretty simple. So you could take your scoreboard and you could cut all the pieces first, do all the lines, set them aside, come back to them, stamp joy on all of your, on all the ones you want to make that are like this. Come back again, stamp the trees, or you could stamp the joy and the tree at the same time, which by the way, because we're using the same color, you could actually put both of those stamps down at the exact same time, and then on your Stamparatus, stamp them both. And there you have it. There we go. One card done. That simple. I think it is so elegant. I really liked it. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, one thing we did have, I'm sorry, on this one is a little bit of a rhinestone. So I'm going to just bring in my take your pick tool and a little gold gem. And there we have it. Now it's done. All right, awesome. That is card number 1. So I hope you guys liked it. Absolutely beautiful. All right, so we're going to set that one off to the side. And now we are going to move into card number 2. Let me grab that one. Oops. Okay. This again, simple card. So again, we're going to use our very vanilla card base. And then we just have some strips from our Lights Aglow Designer Series paper. And this is wonderful. And by the way, for all these cards we're making, we didn't even use a full sheet of any of the Designer Series paper. The other one is this paper right here. It's called Gold and Rose Gold Metallic Specialty Paper. But I don't know if you guys can see the lines. This is just beautiful. I totally missed it in the catalog. And then one of the gals that's a friend and on my team, Carol, actually 2 Carols, they made some cards with it and I absolutely fell in love with it. I thought it was just beautiful. So that is what we are using for this card. So what we needed for this one is obviously a card base that's 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And then you need to just pick some of the patterned paper. And I tried to pick one of kind of the different shades or colors that we have. And these are just a 1/2 inch by 6 inches. And then we have 2 strips of the gold that again is a 1/2 inch by 6 inches. That's all we needed. So now let's assemble our card, this particular card. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put some adhesive and I'm going to put it on diagonally. Okay, so because I'm going to lay those down right on my card base. So I just want to get enough adhesive on here to get some of them going. All right, so we're going to start at the bottom because we want to put in a shade of gold. So that's going to be our first one. And then we're going to put on, make sure you guys can see this. Then we're going to put on a piece of the black. Then we'll do our green here. Oops, and we're just going to put those right up against each other. And again, you just need to make sure the strips are right next to each other, and that you allow for enough on the front, on the top and the bottom. All right, and then we're going to do another one there. And then I'm going to do some strips of Tombow, because I don't want to accidentally get too much of the other, and then I run out. Now, one of the things I just noticed I did on these is I only needed one strip of gold here, but we're actually going to go ahead. I made these only needed to be a 1/4 inch, not a 1/2 inch. So they're a little bit longer here, but that's okay. I'm actually going to cut this one down just a bit, and that way it won't be as thick there. So I have my paper trimmer right here. We'll just cut that down just a little bit. And now we'll put another little strip of adhesive glue here. And oops, here we go. And here we are. We'll put this little spot of adhesive right there. And there we have it. So this one looks a little bit different. I went a little bit too far there with the size of the gold adhesive, but I think we're going to get a nice look. Now we're going to go over and stamp our Merry Christmas. So let's go ahead and take our ink here and make sure again it's nice and stamped up, and put it right down on our card. There we go. Love it. All right, so now what we're going to do, clean our stamp, we're going to go ahead and trim the excess. And this is when your card will be done. We'll add a few rhinestones. So all you're going to do is now you're going to take a pair of, you want a pair of scissors that have a longer nose on them for this cutting, just because I think it allows you to get a little better of a trim just across it. But basically all you do is put your blade right up against the edge and then trim it across. Now we're going to do the same thing over here. And we're just going to trim that right down. There you have it. And there you go, guys. That is well, we'll add our, let's add a few of our embellishments there. And then we are done with this one. Now, these embellishments actually are in, let me just show them to you really quickly. They're these right here. They have been on back order for quite some time. I think they're back in stock now, but those are the ones we're using. And I'm just going to take this, and I think we'll add for this one, we'll just add a couple that are red, and then maybe a gold or a silver one. There we go. All right. And there is card number 2. Again, very simple, and doesn't take a ton of supplies, yet I think it's an absolutely beautiful card. All right. Now we're going to take and make this card here. So this is our next card we're going to make. And this again is very simple. Now I will tell you, I embossed in black the Happy New Year. So I did that in advance too, but this is what we're going to have. So we're going to have a piece of Very Vanilla that is 8.5 by 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. Oh. And then you're going to need just a piece of 2-inch basic black, 1 inch of the designer series paper, and then you're going to need 2 strips. These are, I think these are somewhere between a quarter. I think these might actually be 1/4 to 1/2 inch. All right. So we just need enough, as you can see, to make a thin border here. And then you're going to need some of those matte black embellishments. Now, this particular card is a Happy New Year card, but again, I think you could take and make it a Merry Christmas if you wanted. It looks to me like a very masculine card. All right, so like I said, you're going to stamp this with the Happy New Year, again, out of the Brightest Glow. And then I use some black embossing powder. So that's what I use to stamp Happy New Year. So that's the first thing that you're going to do. And I've already done that here, just so that we wouldn't have to get out the embossing tool. All right. Now what you're going to do is you are going to take your piece of black cardstock and you are just going to rip it down the center. Okay. That is all you're going to do. This again, like I said, easy peasy. And now what you're going to do is you're going to take one that has kind of that rough edge, and then the other one you're going to turn over so you get a matching rough edge on the other side. Okay, and now all we're going to do is we are going to assemble these pieces together that we have here. So you can see what we're going to do is build it out so that these pieces are all going to be connected. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our 2 black pieces. And the thing I love about all of these, I think I said this one was 2 inches. It's 2 inches by 5.5. This is 1 inch by 5.5. And then these I think are like I said, 1/4 inch by 5.5. So everything is 5.5, which makes it just so simple. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put adhesive on the back of our designer series paper here. Okay, I'm going to move that over. Now I'm going to make sure these 2 black pieces here are together. So let's move this out of the way. Okay, and we are going to go ahead and put this right down. Oh, wait. I don't want to do that yet. Oh, sorry. We're going to take our 2 silver pieces first, and we are going to adhere them right on the edge. So we want just a sliver showing, but the only thing I would say is make sure that you kind of get it even. Okay. So that was a little tricky there. I almost glued down the wrong thing, huh? Now I kind of got glue on my fingers. Okay, so there we have it. So I'm just going to put that right down there, and I'm going to have to put a little extra Tombow right on the edge on this side, and then we're going to glue this one down. And again, you're going to line those up. So I'm going to push that down, and then I'm just going to make sure that they're even. And you can see they're both even across the piece of designer series paper. Okay, now I'm going to do this with sticky fingers, guys. Let's make sure that we're even. Oops. Uh-oh. Oops. Here we go. All right. Oops. we'll get that even. It's being a little tricky. Probably because I have glue all over my fingers, right? Leave it to alive. All right, here we go. All right, now we're going to take this piece in my hand and I'm gonna add a little more adhesive, a little more Tombow, and then we're gonna stick our 2 pieces of black cardstock right here in the middle there. And then you guys are gonna see, we're just gonna take these and let me just turn it over and make sure, because we want this also to be even on both sides, right? We want to make sure that we get a nice even look. And there we have it. Okay, this one maybe in just a tad. But isn't that just a beautiful border? And if you guys can keep your fingers out of the glue, then I think you'll be fine, right? Okay, so now what we're going to do is now we just adhere this right to our card, just like that. But again, I think this makes, oops, let me just make sure that's nice and not too, oops, yeah, there we go. This would make just a very nice masculine card, as well as I think just, you know, one for a family. But, you know, if you have someone that maybe you don't, or you didn't get a chance to send them a Christmas card, this would make for an absolutely beautiful New Year's card. So, or if you have a party or get together with friends, always fun, right? Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and add some of our matte dots here. So we're just going to take a few of these and pop them on our card. And we'll just put a couple down here, get a little even. And there you have it, guys. That's it. That is our second card right there. So I love it. I think it's one of my favorites, actually. I really do like that one. All right, so we'll set that one off to the side. And we are down to one more. Let's move this out of the way. All right, here we go. So our last card is this one right here. And again, super simple, very elegant. We are just going to use some Designer Series, a 1 inch, again, 1 inch by 5.5, 2, I think again, 1/2 inch strips of the gold metallic. Then you're going to need a piece of vellum to do our snowflake. And then you're going to need some scraps for our sentiment, and then a couple gold dots for an embellishment. All right, so our card base, again, is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Now, the first thing we're going to do is, oops, let me see. I lost my, oh, there it is. So the first thing we would do is we would go ahead and stamp Joy using our Joy stamp, this one here. Okay, we would stamp that, and then we would use our gold. We would stamp it with Versamark, and then go ahead and use our heat tool to emboss that. I went ahead and did that ahead of time. I did want to show you, it's this particular die that we used. So, and that die came out of the, oops, let me make sure I get the right, yeah, it came out of the Brightest Glow bundle, or the Labels Aglow dies. And this is, just so you know, this is what they all look like. So it's this particular one. that we used. But you can see just how beautiful so many of those are. And they make all these different dots. Absolutely, just absolutely gorgeous. So that's the one we're using for our label. So, or our sentiment, excuse me. Okay, so very similar to our other card. We're going to take this and then we are going to glue down our 2 gold pieces. So since my fingers are very sticky, I am actually going to just use my tape runner here, my Stampin' seal, and run that right across. And now all we're going to do, turn this over and give myself a border. Okay, so you're just going to give yourself a nice, border on the edge of the Designer Series paper, like that. Then we're going to turn it over and do the exact same thing on the other side. And again, nice thing about these particular cards is they use very, very few supplies, which I think is so wonderful. And we're just going to add some adhesive now. It's kind of funny. Normally I keep like some baby wipes or something, and I don't have anything in here. So that's all right. We'll get over it. Now I'm just going to take this and I'm literally going to put it in the middle of my card here. There we have it. Okay, so that's our base. Now we need to cut out our snowflake. So we are going to use the snowflake die, and that is in this Christmas Lights again. And let me just show this one to you as well. So the snowflake die, you can actually do just an outline, which is what we're doing, but it actually fits with this particular one too. So you can actually get all the details inside that snowflake as well. And the same with the tree. You can do just an outline, or you can cut one out with all the details. And then of course you have all these little smaller ones as well. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and bring in our cut and emboss machine. So hopefully you guys can see that. We're just gonna put this right over top, put it right on here, and run this guy right through with hopefully not shaking the camera too much here. Oops. There we go. Oops. All right. And we will move that out of the way and grab our... So just like that, we have our nice snowflake. All right, so now we just have to, again, assemble. So we're going to take our joy here and we are going to put it right on the middle of our snowflake. And we'll just center that right in the middle. And then we're going to pop this up on some dimensionals here. So we'll get a couple. Again, if you had to make a lot of cards, you could make a whole bunch of these pretty quickly. And sometimes, you know, if you do the assembly line, right, you do a little at a time. And then before you know it, you'll have them all done. All you have to do is dress them. All right, all we need now are a few gold embellishments here. So we're going to grab a couple of these and pop them on. And we'll put that one up there. All right. That is it, guys. That is our 4 cards. So let me bring those back in. So we have these 2. And we have this one here. Let's get this out of the way. And then you've got this one here, which again could be a New Year's, could be a you could make it a Christmas card as well. And then we have this one here. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you liked them. Again, if you want to subscribe to Card Club, which is again monthly, it's $30. If you're local, it is $35 if I need to mail it to you. That pays a little bit for shipping. But December's is going to be using Penguin Place as well as Days to Remember. So we're going to be doing thank yous and calendars. So those are the two that we are going to use for the December card kit, because everybody needs thank you notes right after Christmas, and then it's for thank yous, and then as well as maybe creating yourself just a little desk calendar. Super fun, right? Have a little project that you could do in those winter months. So if you have any questions, by all means, email me at stampingwithfair@gmail.com, or you can go to my blog at Four Seasons Crafts. It's the number 4seasonscrafts.com, and you can also reach out to me there. So thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you had fun, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.